Excited about having a chance to pitch here in New York's opening day. Dwight Gooden's a great pitcher, but we feel like we've got a good ball club. We're playing pretty well, and we're really excited about playing the Mets. They're always good games. We've had some close games with them the last couple years, and there's no reason to expect that the games won't be exciting again.
26-year-old Ricky Horton from Poughkeepsie, New York, gets the call for the Cardinals today against the New York Mets and Cy Young Award winner Dwight Gooden. A beautiful day in New York as the Cardinals are the team that goes against the Mets in their home opener. 64 degrees, and there you see the lines. 338 to left and right, 410 to center field, 371 to the power alleys. A sellout crowd on hand at Shea Stadium. Pleasant good afternoon, everybody. Jay Randolph along with Mike Shannon. Jack Buck will join us a bit later on. Well, a big crowd, lots of hoopla on the Big Apple for the Mets. They're 2-2. The Cardinals are 4-1. Early on, these two teams, of course, figure very strongly in what should be an interesting 86 race.
Well, they always go back to 1985 or the year before, Jay, and these two clubs really went at it last year. The Cardinals won 101 ball games, the Mets 98 games, and many think that it's going to come down to the last week this year, and it appears to me that that's probably what's going to happen.
Horton, happy to get the ball today. The young left-hander pitching in his home state. He'll take a shot at Gooden.
Well, Gooden's always tough. There's no doubt about that. I guess the Cardinals are as good against Gooden as anyone. He has 3 no decisions at Shea Stadium against our ball club, and I think he's something like 3-2 lifetime. So the Redbirds have fared better against Dwight Gooden than anyone.
Well, this big crowd is in a very festive mood, and we look forward to an afternoon of baseball with you. Back with the starting lineups right after these messages.
Well, you see the scene back here at Shea Stadium, and this field is in excellent shape, the best shape I've ever seen it in this time of the year. The umpire's already on the scenes, and Red Schoendienst brings in the Cardinal lineup, and Davey Johnson walks out with New York's lineup. And here's how they stack up today. First, for the St. Louis Cardinals, Vince Coleman will lead it off. He'll be in left field. Willie McGee's in center. Tommy Hurd's second. Jack Clark, the cleanup man, at first. Andy Van Slyke will be the right fielder. Terry Pendleton at third. Mike Heath does the catching. Ozzie Smith, off to a good start, will be the shortstop. And Rick Harton getting his first appearance of the year, loosening in the Cardinal bullpen. For New York, they have a newcomer to the ball club. Mookie Wilson out, so it'll be Lynn Dykstra to lead it off. He'll be playing center field. Tim Tuffle, traded from the American League, over here at second base. Keith Hernandez, the first baseman, he's off to a good start. So is Gary Carter, their cleanup man and catcher. Darryl Strawberry's in right, George Foster in left. Ray Knight, a couple of home runs in the early going and batting .556 on the young season, will be at third. Rafael Santana is their shortstop, and Mr. Do-It-All, Dr. K is what they call him here in New York. He's already 1-0, coming off a 24-4 season last year, and he's coming off the Triple Crown as far as pitchers go. Most wins, most strikeouts, and the lowest ERA. The last time anyone did that was Sandy Koufax, and that's 1966. So that's the kind of class that Mr. Gooden has associated himself with. Big crowd, opening day. This place is jammed. It'll be crazy. We'll have some fun today, and we'll come back and give you the play-by-play of this action, the Cards and the Mets, right after these messages. There you see the scene, Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York. Old Gotham will be hopping tonight as usual. And this ballpark here, Shea Stadium, is hopping with 55,000 here on opening day.
Mike, out in center field, they have a silver statue type setup that celebrates the 25th anniversary of the Mets here in New York. Of course, they played originally at the old Polo Grounds before moving into this stadium 23 years ago.
Well, Jay, I've been on the scene since that Polo Ground day in 1962. I wasn't there at the beginning of the season in '62, but I joined the Cardinals that year, late in the season. And that was quite a ballpark over there, and this has turned out to be quite a franchise, to say the least. In the early going, it was one of the most unusual franchises in the game.
Going to have the first ball thrown out. Mayor Koch is here. There you see the box.
With that little shiny head there in the middle.
That's right.
If you're not familiar with him, I'd say he has gathered a rather large crowd of media. Okay, going back to 1962 and the early start of this New York franchise, you know, they were kind of the laughing stock. Casey Stengel was their manager. I think they won 40 games that year and lost the rest. As you get a look at
That's Robert Wagner, the former mayor of New York, throwing out the first ball as he did 25 years ago.
Gary Carter returning it to him. This franchise has changed around since former mayor threw out the first one. Got a kick out of an old joke around here about the New York franchise and the Mighty Mets, as they called them back then and there. They had a story, they had a number here they used to call to get the scores. And a guy called in and said, was asking about the Mets score, and the fellow on the phone said, they scored 19 runs, the Mets did. And he said, oh yeah? He says, did they win? There's what the defense looks like today for the New York Mets. Foster, Dykstra, and Strawberry patrol the outfield. Foster's a little suspect. You'd have to rate him below average in the defensive end of the game. Knight, Santana, Tuffle, and Hernandez on the infield. Gooden and Carter, the battery. Dwight Gooden off to a good start. He went the distance, beat Pittsburgh in the opener for the New York Mets. And what a season this young man has put together, not only in 1985, but also in his rookie season, 1984. You see his stats there as he went the distance, beating Pittsburgh, getting only 6 hits with a walk, had 6 strikeouts, and as usual, he's piling up the complete games. He'll go the distance, this guy. He was 24-4 last season. He led the major leagues in wins, in strikeouts, and in earned run average, and that's referred to as the Triple Crown when it comes to pitching.
People wondered what he would do for an encore, and he showed them an absolutely phenomenal sophomore season. The jinx was not with him as a sophomore his second year, but with the opponents. Hard to imagine that he can get any better, but he's just 21 years old from Tampa, Florida, making his second start of the season.
Well, the Cardinals beat his high school mate the other day in St. Louis, Floyd Yeomans, who pitches for the Montreal Expos. Maybe they can do the same to Dwight Gooden here today. Can you imagine facing those two guys in high school, Jay?
They must have been unbelievable.
I guarantee you one thing, it would certainly make you study, go back to the geometry, wouldn't it? If you had to face those two guys and say, hey, if this is what it is like in high school, what's going to happen when I get to professional baseball?
Well, we're just about set to go. Sellout crowd, beautiful day. Hope you'll enjoy it wherever you are along the Cardinal Network this afternoon. Vince Coleman will lead it off. Joe West is the umpire at the plate today. Coleman hitting .316 so far this season. These numbers will change a great deal, of course, in the next few weeks. Behind the plate, as we mentioned, Joe West, a native of North Carolina, who's been umpiring since '77. He's joined by Billy Williams, John McSherry, and Frank Pulley. First pitch of Shea Stadium, 86. Gooden to Coleman. Inside for ball 1. Coleman, just 24 years old, from Jacksonville, Florida. These two Floridians facing each other to start it off. The switch hitter came on the scene in the 8th game of '85. Replacing Landrum, and what a story he wrote for us. It's low, ball 2. Vince has 2 hits in each of his last 3 games. He stole 3 bases Friday night against Montreal and 1 on Saturday.
Cardinals have already stolen 15 bases in 16 tries.
And Gooden gets that one on the outside corner. He set a club record with 14 straight victories last season. Set a rookie record for strikeouts and set a major league mark of 33 Ks in 2 straight games back in '84. 2-2. Cardinals were 10-8 against the Mets last year. They were 4-5 here at Shea Stadium. 6-3 at Busch, and as often happens when Gooden gets 2 strikes on an opposing batter, they run it up here. Into center field. Dykstra coming on. 1 out.
This field here at Shea Stadium this time of the year can be treacherous as far as the sun is concerned.
Here's the Cardinals center fielder, number 15.
No wind to speak of at the moment.
McGee.
Old Glory out there in center field. Very calm.
Usually the Jets going into LaGuardia here are a problem, but they won't be a problem here today because this crowd is so boisterous, so loud, we can't even hear the airplane.
Willie McGee. Strike 1 to Willie. Hit the Cardinals' first homer of the season last Saturday night. Down to the right side to his former teammate. Hernandez beats him to the bag. It's a day off for the Cardinals tomorrow as we look again at this play.
They all talk about Gooden's fastball, but he has an excellent curve, and you saw that one too. The Cardinal most valuable player and the league's most valuable player last year. It broke right off the table. He has an excellent curveball, and he had it in a good spot to get McGee.
Here's Tommy Herr batting 125 early on in this season. Reached base by a hit or walk in each of the first 4 games, and then was kept off base yesterday. That's low. A little high, 1 ball or 2 balls and no strikes. The Red Sox have jumped out on top of the Royals 1-0 in the early going. Ball 3. Gooden is 3-2 lifetime versus the Cardinals and 2-1 against them last year. Caught the corner. 3-1. Tommy Herr, 30 years old. Had a birthday back on the 4th of this month from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. One of the finest all-round second basemen in the major leagues, certainly. On the ground, Tuffle throwing on to Gooden. And the Cardinals are down 1-2-3. After a half inning at Big Shea in the Big Apple, no score. Rick Horton finds himself back in the role of a starter after 2 major league years in which he started only 21 times in 86 games and only 3 times last year. His major league career record is 12 victories and 6 defeats, and he is 9-4 as a starter, 3-2 in relief. Rick did not start against the Mets in '85, but he did very well against them in relief. And the first pitch into Dykstra. Got in there for a strike. Rick made 8 relief appearances against the Mets without a victory or defeat or a save, and that's strike 2. In all, he pitched 9 2/3 innings versus the Mets with an ERA of 0.93. The left-hander went to school at the University of Virginia. This is a shot into right. Van Slyke is there. Van Slyke, who covers a lot of ground out there. In fact, this Cardinal outfield can really go and get the ball. Coleman, McGee, and Van Slyke.
Well, I would have to think that you'd have to go a long way to see a more relaxed outfielder than Mr. Van Slyke. His nickname is Slick.
He gets the job done out there. Tim Tuffle, the youngster, stands in and fouls it back.
This is a great improvement for the New York club as far as I'm concerned. You're looking at him right there, Tim Tuffle. He had a pretty good couple of years over in the American League, and he appears to be as much of a National League player as anyone that's ever come over from the American League.
He's 27 years old, from Greenwich, Connecticut, just to the north of this area. And he came from the Minnesota Twins with Pat Crosby for outfielder Billy Beane and pitchers Bill Latham and Joe Klink back in January.
Is that one of Bing's relatives?
I don't know. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You know the rest of those Crosbys. I figured you'd know that.
The Brewers and the White Sox tried to sign this youngster early on, but couldn't. And he was finally signed by Minnesota as a second-round pick in June of 1980. Has some power, although he hit 21 of his 27 home runs in his career in the Metrodome, which is a bit of a indoor bandbox in Minneapolis. The 1-2 pitch. Stop made back there by Mike Heath, who certainly has been a wonderful addition to this Cardinal roster. Two balls and 2 strikes, and he struck him out. Number 1 in the strikeout department for Rick Horton.
Both these pitchers in the early going are on. Watch the movement on this fastball. Watch it tail as it goes away from the bat. See it tail go down.
Horton now with 2 gone to face Keith Hernandez. Hernandez is 7 for 19 early on, a .368 average, 3 doubles in the first 4 games. Strike on the outside corner. Ricky seems to have his rhythm early on, Mike.
And the good control. He's putting the ball just about exactly where he wishes.
That was just inside. The Mets come in after a road trip when they went 2-2. Had a game snowed out this week.
Look at that pitch. Perfect on the corner.
1 ball and 2 strikes. The Mets let one get away on Saturday afternoon when they lost a 3-run lead in the 9th down at Philadelphia and ended up getting beaten 14 innings. Tommy Herr.
That's where they try to pitch Hernandez, inside, and that's exactly where Horton got it, and he broke his bat with it.
So the Mets go quietly after 1 inning of play at Shea Stadium in New York on a beautiful Monday afternoon. No score.
Leading off the second inning.
We move to the second inning, and Jack Clark to lead it off.
First baseman, Jack Clark.
Jack facing Gooden, has a .353 average right now. Has a home run and an RBI.
These are always great confrontations as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, sir.
You've got a fastball pitcher, a fastball hitter, and you really have one-on-one. Gooden thinks he can throw it right by Clark. Clark thinks that Mr. Gooden can't throw it right by him, and so they just simply go one-on-one. We'll see what happens. He missed with the first one.
Clark hit safely in his first 4 games, but went hitless yesterday at Busch Stadium. Ooh, hard ball. Strike 2 to Clark.
He simply threw that one right by him.
Jack's 30 years old now, from New Brighton, Pennsylvania. The hook is outside and low. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's what makes this kid so great. Good. He has an excellent curveball. There it is.
And he just missed with it, 2-2. You know, Clark made a very smooth transition to first base last year, Mike. He's a real pro.
There's so many good pros on this baseball team. Such a situation, Jay, that they all respect one another and they play so well with one another.
just low, and the count is full to Clark.
Well, he threw him 2 fastballs, now 3 curves. I would have to think that he's going to come back with the fastball. Clark probably will be looking for it.
Payoff pitch. Popped up, back into the seats down the right side. There you see some of the big crowd. Boy, you couldn't ask for a nicer day here in the Flushing Meadows area, New York. Shea Stadium really looking good. Clark, with that quick bat, he hit .332 on the road last year, only .231 at home.
Curveball.
Got him. The first strikeout for Dr. K.
I think he's a power pitcher. Well, he's got a little finesse, too. A 3-2 curve, and he gets it over the outside corner. I see the mayor has already made his exit.
Well, he probably had another appointment. He's a busy man.
Remember the night we were here, Jay, and the commissioner was here?
Right.
And we went 25 innings?
Oh, boy, do I.
He had to sit through that entire 25.
Here's Andy Van Slyke hitting at .250.
He got a little antsy around the 11th or 12th.
So did you and Jack, I think. That's high and inside. Back Van Slyke away. Andy's hitting .250. Has 3 RBIs. Got the first 3 RBIs of the season for the Cardinals.
But you imagine the commissioner coming home and his wife would say to him, "Where the heck have you been?"
This is foul. Just foul outside of first.
"Well, I went to the game." "I know you did, honey, but it's 4 o'clock in the morning. The game was a long one." "Uh-huh, sure."
Van Slyke broke his bat on that last swing. And he's going back over to the dugout. Gets squared away with a pine tar. As we mentioned, a day off tomorrow for the Redbirds, and they'll play here again on Wednesday and Thursday, and we'll be televising at 12:30 St. Louis time both of those days.
We're working again Wednesday and Thursday?
That's right.
I'm going to have to take a look at my contract. First 3 road games, and we're doing all 3.
That's right. Fouled away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Van Slyke's from Utica, New York. Second to Clark with 13 home runs last season. And he was one of 4 Cardinals to steal 30 or more bases.
I guess you're going to tell me now that we've got to work in Montreal and then again in Chicago.
That's right.
Where?
Next Sunday and Monday.
I don't do it on Sunday. I don't work on Sunday.
Strikeout number 2 for Gooden. And they love it here.
The K corner. I wonder how many of those Ks they have out there. As you see, the second, boy, he painted the inside corner. The ball tailed back just a bit. Just caught the edge. You think they've got more than 19 out there?
I think they do. Pendleton hits the first pitch into left. George Foster backing up. So Gooden retires the first 6.
One of these days, George is going to snap the ball down like that with the glove, and it's going to pop out.
We played an inning and a half. No score.
Watch this. This is George Foster catching the ball in the last inning. Catches it. See how he snaps it down like that? One of these days, he's going to snap it down like that, and it's going to pop out.
And somebody will get an inside the park home run.
Or if he takes it and snaps it like that, Jay, and it goes over the fence, it's a home run if it doesn't hit the ground.
That way, yeah. No score. Bottom of the second inning. Gary Carter leads it off, batting .333. Carter 6 for 18 in the first 4 games with 7 RBIs. Outside. This was the man that won it. The opener in 1985 right here in the 10th inning against Neil Allen when he bombed it over the wall and left. 2 balls and no strikes to Carter. Carter's 32 years old now. Came here from the Expos, of course, in the Hubie Brooks deal. Down the right side and into the seats. Carter hit only 159 against the Cardinals last season. And he played really with some real bad knee problems. A torn cartilage in his right knee. Had an operation during the offseason. One of the problems that the Mets would have is a lack of catching depth, especially considering Carter's knees. A long one into right. Van Slyke back is there. Boy, Van Slyke had to battle the sun, but he makes the play.
That's one reason why the Cardinals were National League champions in 1985. Defense. Whitey Herzog is going on record to say he thinks this is the best defensive team in the history of the game. And that man is one of the best defensive right fielders in the game for sure.
Right at the 358 sign. Darryl Strawberry hitting 188.
This guy is about as dangerous as any hitter in the game.
And he fouls the first pitch from Horton, backing out of play. He had a 557 slug average. That was the highest ever for a Met last season.
Very unique style of hitting as you see him all coiled up there. He really throws the bat at the ball.
Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
There have been a lot of hitters come along, great ones from the left side. Home run hitters and good averages. You see this bullet handled by Clark, and there's that defense again.
Jack Clark makes the play in fine fashion.
Willie McCovey was a guy that used to swing very hard from the left side. But I don't think I've ever seen anyone throw the bat at the ball or just let it as loose, as clean as Strawberry does. Watch this play, Clark. I mean, that was a bullet over there. Great reactions, sure hands. And he takes it himself.
A ground level view by our fine camera crew, headed up by our producer director Ron Brooks. George Foster's hitting 333 in the early going. He hit 317 against the Cardinals last season. Not as dangerous as he once was, but always tough. Ball 1 to Foster. Mookie Wilson is the lone Met on the disabled list. He was placed on the 15-day DL on March 30th. Mookie was struck in the right eye in spring training. Had to require 21 stitches in that eye, and he's been working out with Tidewater in exhibition games and will stay in Florida for a while to gain some needed playing time down there. 2 balls and 1 strike to Foster. No score. Bottom of the 2nd inning, 2 out, none on. High fly ball. McGee in center field with the glasses down. So Horton handles the first 6, and after 2, we're scoreless at Shea Stadium in New York. This copyrighted telecast is authorized under television rights granted to the St. Louis National Baseball Club solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Cardinals and Major League Baseball is prohibited. Well, Mike Shannon, you and I have been working more than a dozen years on Cardinal telecasts, more than I guess we ought to count anymore. Not as many as Mr. Buck. He's in his 31st year. Great to be with you this season. Look forward to it.
Thank you, Jay. Great to be with you and Mr. Buck, and especially with our great fans out there and our great KSDK television crew and station. We'll have some fun in 1986. Hope you enjoy it. First to Mike Heath is a curve low, now a fastball outside, then quickly 2-0.
The big change in the starting 8. Mike Heath behind the plate for 86.
Off to a slow start offensively. He's hit the ball hard 3 or 4 times. And he's just taken the wrong direction with those line drives. He's hit them at people. That's not a smart thing to do.
No, he's a splendid fella, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is going to be an asset to this club. You know, there's been a lot said about these two baseball teams, the Cardinals and the Mets. And everybody, the majority anyway, people in the media, pick this New York club as you see that fastball in at the knees to even the count at 2 apiece. The media, most of them picked New York to win. They picked them to win last year. But when you put these two baseball teams down on paper, ooh, Mr. Heath gets the call on that one. Carter and Gooden thought they had strike 3. Not so. I have 2-2 count. See you later on the strike at the knees, and that's 3 for Dr. K. But when you put these two clubs down on paper, Jay, well, let's do it right now. Let's start with starting pitching. I'd have to give it to the Mets. Let's see what Ozzie says about how he's going to attack Mr. Gooden today in the hitting department.
He's probably the best right-hander in the game right now, and he has such a good curveball. Everybody talks about his fastball, but he has an excellent curveball. He can throw at any point, any time.
There's the fastball, and Mr. Smith quickly deposits it right into the corner for a double, maybe a triple. As Strawberry has trouble getting it out, they're going to hold him up at second. A 1-out double by the Redbird shortstop. So he has great respect for Gooden, but his confidence is still there. Let's take another look at it. He got a fastball right upstairs to Ozzie, and when you throw that ball up and out over the plate, these guys usually hit it hard, even off of Dwight Gooden, and you see it. Watch Strawberry, couldn't cut it off. Then he has a little trouble digging it out, and Ozzie was a little undecided on what he wanted to do. Strawberry has a very good arm, but in this case he missed the cutoff man. Ozzie stopped at second anyway. So Mr. Harton could drive in the only run and throw a shutout and be a hero here today. Harton, not a bad hitting pitcher, but when you talk about Mr. Gooden, you're talking about another plateau.
A different dimension, right?
You've got it. Where were we on the pitching? Starting pitching?
Right.
I'd have to give the nod to the New York Mets.
Right.
All right, 1 for them. Mainly because of that gentleman, Mr. Gooden.
I frankly think the Cardinals have a better bullpen.
Okay, so we'll give the Cardinals.
You agree with that?
Correct.
Okay.
We'll give the Cardinals 1 point for the bullpen.
Better defense all the way around for the Redbirds.
Okay, 2 for the Cards. And a strike makes it 1-1. All right, then we have power. Let's give power to New York.
Yep.
All right.
Cardinals will have a better team batting average overall, I believe, though. They did last year.
Okay, that's 3-2 as you see Ozzie dancing off of second. And a tough play for Knight, makes it. Looks the runner back and throws him out. Good play. Ray Knight can still do it over at third. And he's off to a good start, by the way. As you get a look at it. All right, so the offensive average Y goes to the Cardinals. As you see, Harden hit it right where it was pitched, but he couldn't get it by Mr. Knight. Good play as he looked the runner back. And now here's Vince Coleman, the leadoff man. He could put the Cards on top.
Mike, I would. One of the things we didn't mention, I guess, was bench, and I think the Cardinals are improved there. I like the bench.
Well, we'll call that a tie.
All right.
Speed, no doubt. Give that to the Cardinals. Balance, I'd have to give that to the Cardinals also. Up and in, little shave for Vince Coleman here.
Mike, you talk about the experts saying that this team, as we watch again, this high hard one from Gooden. This team, the Mets, they look too good for the rest of the division, some of the experts say. But on the other hand, I think the media and the Mets have placed a great deal of pressure on themselves.
That's all right with the Cardinals and Whitey Herzog.
Right.
He said that last year. And another thing it's done to the Cardinals, it's irritated them. Consequently, they bear down, concentrate a little harder when they play this club. Well, right now I've got the Cardinals 5-2 over New York. Let's add some more things, Jay. Manager. I'd also have to give the nod to the Cardinal manager.
Davey Johnson is a good one, though.
He's excellent.
Oh, boy.
But I don't think Mr. Herzog takes a back seat to anyone in this game.
I agree.
What else? fans. We'll take ours any day.
You betcha.
That's 7-2 I have right now. Well, let's give the bench to New York just because they don't have anything. So that's 7-3. How can the media not mark that down? Foul at the feet of Vince Coleman, and he's in the hole, 1-2. We're in the third. It's 0-0. Ozzie Smith at second. 2 down. We have a little Donnybrook going on in the upper deck here, and that's what all the oohing and eyeing is about, to the fact that Ozzie Smith is having trouble concentrating down at second base. He's looking up at the Donnybrook.
Yeah, they all are. We're not going to show it to you. It's our policy not to. If we did that here in New York, we'd never get the game on.
We wouldn't see any of the
No.
game. Well, the gendarmes will show up there in a second. That'll take care of it.
All right, let's play, huh?
2 down with Ozzie at second. They give Coleman right center. 1-2 the count. Curve, and ooh, it just missed. Mr. Coleman was had right there. There wasn't anything he could do about that. He takes a big, deep breath now as it just missed outside. It's a challenge when you have to face this guy, Dwight Gooden. Count even now, 2 on each side. He's coming inside with the fastball. That'll play for Dykster if he can get it out of the sun. Glasses down. And that takes care of the Redbirds here in the third. Double by Ozzie. Wasted. He's stranded. And after 2 1/2, with Knight, Santana, and Gooden to bat, no score.
Number 22, third baseman.
Rick Carton back to work. Third inning underway. Scoreless game. Only 1 hit in this contest. That's owned by the Cardinals shortstop, Ozzie Smith. 1 out double. He was left, and now it's Ray Knight to lead it off for New York here in the third. Knight is off to a very fast start. 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, and he's batting 5, 5, 6. Looks like my golf score in the first 3 holes.
Well, he's 5 for 9 in his first 2 games. In yesterday's game, he belted the solo homer in the 9th inning off Shane Raleigh. And, of course, his lovely missus, Nancy Lopez.
Nobody in the ballpark.
Golfer.
Nobody in the ballpark can beat her.
No, sir. She's going to deliver their 2nd child in late May. We missed Nancy out at the Dinah Shore tournament 2 weeks ago, but we wish Ray and Nancy well. They have a lovely daughter, Ashley, and this will be their 2nd child.
Souvenir for one of the 55,000 at Shea Stadium today.
Mike, we've got a new feature on the telecast for 1986, the McDonald's scoreboard, and we'll have updated baseball scores of the games around the majors later on in the telecast. And Pittsburgh's at Philadelphia this afternoon, the National League. LA at San Diego tonight. Kansas City's playing at Boston, and Baltimore at Toronto this afternoon. A little later on, Texas at Milwaukee.
A lot of play on the other side for a souvenir. Is that McDonald Douglas?
No.
That's where we stop all the time with the kids, right?
That's right. You got it right. McDLT.
Let's get that straight.
Of course, we're very proud of McDonnell Douglas in St. Louis, too, but
they didn't buy the spot, right? I don't think there's a parent alive that doesn't know those golden arches. Yeah, we're glad to have
some
them
success
here.
story. The late Ray Kroc, of course, involved with the San Diego Padres.
He'd roll over if he knew that they were advertising on the Cardinals instead of the Padres. There you see the count as Knight leads it off for New York here in the third. Just got a piece of it. Good hitters have a knack of doing that, spoiling that perfect pitch.
Knight's had a lot of injuries in his career and started last season on the DL. He's now 33 years old, from Albany, Georgia.
That's where I broke into this crazy world of professional baseball, Albany, Georgia. Full count as he missed with the fastball.
Had bone chips removed from his right elbow at the beginning of last season.
Also had some shoulder problems.
Yes,
too, didn't
he sure did. He's had a great many physical problems in the last 5 years.
Well, when he's healthy and right, he's a good hitter. Also had a problem with vertigo, didn't he?
Yes, he did. That's right. I remember when he was at Houston.
I have that problem every once in a while, usually in the evenings.
Late in the evening.
Payoff pitch. Walked it. Breaking ball. And that's the first base runner of the day for New York. Harton had retired the first 6. Mr. Harton has one of the best moves in the game, and that's what you see Bill Robinson talking to Ray Knight about as he reaches first base. Harton can pick you off when you're only a foot or 2 away from the base. Very deceptive. And you see the easy one. Those pitchers are cagey. They'll give you that easy toss over there. Then they'll put the smooth one on you if you're not careful. Santana, former Cardinal property. Raphael. He's off to a slow start, batting only .118. Cardinals didn't particularly like that call. Ball 1. Good spot for the hit and run. Difficult to apply the hit and run against the left-hander, Rick Carton. But that good move, and you see him give him a pretty good move that time. That's his better one. Knight complaining to the umpire about a balk, but not so. And it's 2-0. Dwight Gooden, who's on deck, the pitcher, has become quite a good hitter in this game also.
Sure has.
Besides being one of the best pitchers in the game, and right now, if you had to take a poll, Mr. Gooden would be elected number 1. Too high, says the home plate umpire. Joe West. 3 balls, no strikes. Oh, the former president, Richard Nixon, here at the ballpark today. He's in attendance. A lot of hoopla here at Shea Stadium opening day.
Chub Feeney, the head man of the National League, sitting along with Mr. Cashin, general manager of the Mets, off to our right.
Oh, he walked him on 4 straight.
Ricky's got himself in a hole here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Well, Mr. Good won't be hitting this time. He'll be sacrificing. And the Cardinal double play combination converges on the mound along with Mike Heath. They want to try to settle Rick Carton down. They also talk about this bunting situation, who's going to be covering, and what kind of play they're going to put on. The Cardinals have a set play for this situation. Let's see how they employ the particular set. There are a number of options off of it. Oh, perfect bunt. Good. They'll move them both up. 1-3 on the sack. You won't see a better bunt than that one. Watch him deaden the baseball. Squares around. See the bat go back when it hit the ball. That's what makes the ball come off the bat very easily. And the way you do that is when you move your hand, the top hand, up the bat, you hold the bat loosely in the right hand or the top hand. And when the ball hits the bat, it almost knocks it out of your hand, and then it lays right out in front of the plate. Infield in at the corners. Back at short and second. There's a good curve by Harton. Gets in to the leadoff man, Lynn Dykstra. This kid's off to a good start. He's had the opportunity to play regular with the injury to Mookie Wilson. He had an eye injury in a rundown play early in spring training. He's still in Florida, Wilson is, recuperating. Out of play, 0-2.
Should mention that Tim Conroy has joined the Cardinals here in New York, and he could be activated at any moment.
He's eligible to come off as of today. Cardinals have indicated they will not take him off today. Probably won't take him off at the earliest until Wednesday, and maybe not even then. A lot depends on Jeff Lottie, the Cardinal relief pitcher. That also will find its way into the seats. Count remains 0-2. New York with the best scoring opportunity of the day. The Redbirds stranded Ozzie at second base in the top of this inning, the third. But New York has runners at second and third. One out, the top of the lineup. Can't ever remember this field being any better than it is this time of the year, Jay. Can you?
No, it's just in remarkable shape. Of course, the New York Jets don't play here anymore.
Well, Mr. Dykstra fouled off a pretty good pitch that last time. Mr. Harton says, I don't mind giving you one corner, but you can't have both, so stay loose up there. That'll keep you loose. When you get dust on the bottom of your pants, there's usually a pretty good reason. Now let's see if he comes back with the curve. Fastball, fouls it off, and he was out in front.
Dykstra had his first 4-hit game on Saturday in that extra inning loss down in Philadelphia.
Dykstra came to New York last season. Didn't play as a regular, but with Wilson out, he's a regular now. A wasted fastball, and it's 2-2. Lynn is 5'10", weighs 160. He's from California. Hit .310 at Tidewater. And Mr. Rourke wants to have a little talk with Ricky. I think he's overthrowing at this point, rushing himself a little bit. Rourke is one of the best in the business that I've ever come across, Jay, about being able to spot those kinds of problems so early.
Rourke, I think, probably knows as much about technique as any pitching coach in the National League. There is Darrell Herzog from New Athens, Illinois, the man we call the White Rat. Cardinals have the National League East lead at the moment.
Come into this game 4-1. The Mets are 2-2. Almost hit him. Full count. Base open, but on deck. Tim Tuffle and then Hernandez. So Mr. Harton needs to get this 3-2 delivery in there. That's 3 walks in the inning, and the bases are loaded. That one wasn't even close. See the Cardinal catcher, Mike Heath, have to go way outside low to get it. Double play is in order now. Jim Tuffle, as Jay told you, the young man that came over from the American League, Minnesota, at the dish. 6-footer, 175. That'll score at least one. Tagging from third and coming in is Ray Knight. 1-0 New York. Santana with good base running went to third. Sacrifice fly and an RBI for Mr. Tuffle.
That ball carried a long way, Mike.
Fastball right up and out over the plate. Tuffle went with it. He hit it about 360 feet away. Base open now as Hernandez bats, but Carter is on deck. So New York scores a run without the benefit of a hit. Looks like a Cardinal offensive move. 3 walks and a sacrifice fly. Mr. Herr to Clark, and New York gets only the 1 run. No hits. 2 left. We've completed 3 full innings from Shea Stadium, and New York Mets lead the St. Louis Cardinals 1-0.
As we get set to go to the 4th inning, we'll remind you the Midas Touch Award will be given to the most outstanding player of the game, and that will be named later on this afternoon, of course. It's a 1-0 score on the board for the Mets as Willie McGee will lead it off in the 4th inning. And a distinct pleasure to bring to the microphone in his 31st year of calling the Cardinals, Mr. John Francis Buck.
Wow.
Wow. How are you?
All right. Wouldn't it be something if Horton pitched a no-hitter and lost 1-0? Who is this batter?
This is McGee, the MVP.
Oh. He's 2 out of 23.
Yep. Slow start.
Here comes McGee, the MVP. Oh, my Lord, he's 2 for 23.
You're hot today.
No, I'm not. I'm awake, though. Cardinals have a hit, but the Mets have a run. And Willie, who grounded to first in the first, has a 1-ball, 1-strike count as he precedes Herr and Clark to the dish. Gooden has registered 3 strikeouts in 3 innings. That's about par for him. Foul ball, and that's what Willie's been doing a lot. Just slapping at the ball, hitting it to the opposite field. He left a couple of men on base yesterday at home. Runners on 3rd and 1 out 2 different times. He hasn't found the groove yet, but he will. A good cut at that one. He has a home run, as you know. You got plenty of notes there.
Yeah, well, I have to do something in my spare time.
If we had a rain out here, you could talk for 3 hours. You've got it covered. 21 years old, this kid. He gets his 4th strikeout. Looked like the ball was down and it was sinking. Watch it. Watch the glove.
Running away, too.
Running away, yes. It was tailing. So it's not that he throws the ball so hard that it won't move. Some pitchers have that problem. They throw it so hard that it's straight. And that's not good. Here's Tom Herr, grounded out his first time. And shortstop Santana. Santana stayed down very well on this dirt infield. This kid doesn't hit much. They just leave him in there for his defensive work, which is rather good. That pitch was down, and the ground ball resulted. Look how Santana stayed right on top of it. Over to Hernandez. I'm in the process of reading Keith Hernandez's book.
Yeah, I saw that you had that book with you last evening.
It's there's a ball to Clark, who struck out his first time. It's not really a comprehensive baseball story. It's a day-by-day account of last year.
He kept a diary, didn't he?
Yeah. And Clark, who could tie it up with one swing, takes ball 2 low. I wish there was some way to keep these people quiet over here.
I don't know how.
It's our first fight of the year up in the upper deck. You see some of that action?
Yes, we did.
One fella had a good right hand. 2 out, 2 quick outs here in the 4th. Cardinals have 1 hit, a double by Ozzie Smith with 1 out in the 3rd, and he was left on. Clark hits it hard to Santana. Three perfect innings out of 4 for Dwight Gooden, and Carter will lead it off against Rick Horton. There you see the 3 coming up, coming to the bottom of the 4th, 1-0 New York. On a clear day, you can see New Jersey. Ball 1 outside to Gary Carter. Rick Horton sprung a leak in the last inning. He walked 3 and gave up a fly ball and gave up a run. Carter lined to right his first time and hits it up the middle, and Ozzie a diving stop, and he dropped the ball. Ozzie did everything but throw him out. Now, he did not get a good jump on the ball, but he caught up to the ball, and then watch what happened. It was up the middle, and here he comes.
Well, I tell you, I didn't think he could get to it.
As he moved it into his throwing hand, and he would have thrown him out, he dropped the ball, and it's probably a hit.
It is. That's the way they rule it.
But he would have thrown him out. And Strawberry is at the dish. Strawberry grounded to first his first time, and they play behind Carter at first. There you see it. Carter had a knee operation this offseason, never was really fast. There's ball one. And Ricky Norton as they call him, is having trouble with the breaking ball. Maybe a double play, bad hop, and a force out. That ball really twisted. Looked like one of Minnesota Fat's pool table shots. Watch it. Strawberry clunked it off the end of the bat. And Pendleton was fooled, but did a dandy job of staying with it. But now they have to hold against Strawberry because he can run. Fortunately, it was Carter running the bases, and they got the force out. The batter is George Foster. You can get him on the double play, but he usually gets the ball airborne. Wears sunglasses, as you see. Looks like a rather mysterious character as he stands in there. Clark holding against him. Bill Robinson is the first base coach for New York. A ball in the dirt. Good play by Heath. That Heath can move behind the plate faster than anybody you've ever seen. He flies out when a fellow shows a bunt, Jay, as you saw him down in spring training.
Right,
he comes darting out of there like the one dog.
Here it is right here. Look how quick he is.
Watch how quickly he moves. One on, one out.
Man at the plate, Jack, has 334 career home runs. That marks him at the 40th spot on the all-time list.
When he hits them, they go. He went around, I thought. No, they held up. Ball two. 2-0. Strawberry can steal a base. Swiped 26 a year ago. Horton behind on the count. First couple of innings, he was brilliant, getting ahead of the hitters, and getting everything over. And now he runs the count to 3-0. And the answer to the question is yes, Foster is swinging. Horton walked 3 in the third inning. No, he wasn't swinging, and it's 3-1. He's swinging now, and they may start the runner. 1-0 New York, bottom of the fourth. 2 other games in the National League on this date. They're both tonight. Pittsburgh at Philly and the Dodgers at San Diego. To the batter. The runner is not going, and ball 4. Horton can't get that breaking ball over now, and that's his 4th walk. And the batter is Ray Knight. He drew a walk his first time. He's a perfect candidate for a double play. Knight has already had 2 home runs. You see that strikes are difficult for Horton to throw. Knight had 2 home runs in Philadelphia. Ball 1 high, and his pitches are up. Earlier, Joe Baber was warming up in the Cardinal bullpen. He is not doing so now.
Knight hit .281 with batters in scoring position last year. Although, as you saw, he didn't really have a very good year.
Pretty good clutch hitter. He can move the ball around, hit it to the opposite field. 2 on and only 1 out. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. There's a breaking ball again, ball 2.
Commented early in the second inning now. Horton seemed to have his rhythm, but he's had trouble now in these last 2 innings getting that ball over.
Yeah, early on he did, and he was working very quickly. Now he's behind on the count, 2 on, 1 out. And he missed again. And it's 3-1. It is conceivable that New York would start the runners. Strawberry at second and Foster at first. They should have started the runners. Out at second and out at first. The play went 6-4-3, and the double play ends the inning. No runs, 1 hit, a walk. 1 left. They've left 3. We played 4. 1-0 New York.
Well, during the next homestand at Busch Stadium, it's going to be required attendance for all you area college students. College night on Thursday, April the 24th. And all the students with a valid college or junior college ID receive a $3 discount on a reserved seat to watch the Cardinals battle these Mets at 7:35 on the 24th. Hope to see you at Busch Stadium. We'll have some fun.
This is Andy Van Slyke. He is from the state of New York. He struck out his first time against Dwight Gooden, and the curveball is in there called strike. Whenever Gooden is getting that curveball over as he is now, he's double trouble. 1-0 New York, 5th inning. Foul as he got out in front and cranked it foul. Strike 2. Van Slyke, Pendleton, and Heath here in the 5th. Cardinals have 1 hit, and so do the Mets, but the Mets have the only run. Whenever there's a 2-strike count, this crowd revs it up. They want a strikeout. And another foul. Out there in the left field corner in the upper deck, they have the K corner. K being the symbol for a strikeout when you're keeping score. Have some fellows out there who keep track of how many they have. And it's 4 so far. Who's our director here today?
Ron Brooks, back for another season.
He's on the stick. Missed with the breaking ball. They call Van Slyke slick. He has no home runs, 3 runs batted in this year. He's leading off. Cardinals have had only 1 runner. Missed with a breaking ball. It is 2-2. Next one to Indy. 3-2. Lovely scene here at Shea Stadium on a perfectly clear day in New York. A borderline pitch, and Andy had to go for it, and he fouled it away. Baltimore at Toronto, they're 1-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Kansas City and Boston are tied 2-2 after 5. You can read that scoreboard out there, can't you?
Yes, sir. I still
Got
get
the-
to
got
still
the
read
good peepers. 3-2. And a leadoff walk. Second runner for the Cardinals. The batter, Pendleton. Terry had a bad day yesterday, striking out 3 times. He's 3 out of 19, and he lined out to left his first time. They're busy at LaGuardia today, man.
It'll start to pick up through the afternoon, too. Flight path, I think the wind has changed a little bit. It's picked up a little, and they're coming right out over us now. Gooden a little upset with himself.
You know, the Cardinals used to do an awful lot of running against Dwight Gooden. They used to run him to death if they were fortunate enough to get men on base. He's worked on that pickoff move, and the Cardinals have a potential base stealer over there in Van Slyke. And that's why Gooden threw over there. He's a little bit better now at keeping runners close than he was before.
Saw our new first base coach there, Mr. Hacker, from New Athens, Illinois, Whitey Herzog's hometown.
Van Slyke has stolen 2. The Cardinals have stolen 15 in the first 5 games and have been thrown out only once.
And needless to say, lead the league. Once, 12. It's all right. You can pronounce it that way.
Ball on to Pendleton. We'll watch Van Slyke. The outfield straight away. Ball 2. That's Nicoleva. A couple of things about Gooden. He doesn't pitch as effectively in the daylight as he does at night. And secondly, pitching off the stretch may take a little bit away from his pitching stuff. Hitting room through the right side if Pendleton is able to pull the ball. Ball 3. Well, Rick Horton has walked 4. Gooden just walked Van Slyke, and he's 3-0 on Pendleton. But the thing about him, he may walk 2 or 3 and then turn around and strike out the side. Pendleton might be swinging. There's a strike. I'll tell you this about Gooden, he's not stopping very long when he comes down to the belt. He's coming very close to balking. Let's see if Van Slyke goes. Probably. That's the way the Cardinals ordinarily play it. And he was leaning, and he got back. Almost had Van Slyke. He was leaning the other way. If you've ever played the game, you know it's tough to change directions like that. 3-1 the count. And another throw over. Van Slyke and Hernandez talking it over. Andy's the tying run here in the 5th. 1-0 New York. 3-1 to Pendleton. Runner going. Swing and a foul. 3-2. Into the upper deck it went. And Slyke will come back. John McSherry talks it over with him. We'll take a look at Pendleton. The early part of the year last year, and you remember we opened here in New York. Pendleton was really struggling. He was embarrassed the way they were getting him out.
He put so much pressure on himself early last year, but he's matured.
Leadoff walk to Van Slyke and a 3-2 count on Pendleton. Runner going again. Swing and a ground ball, and safe at second. Out at first. So starting the runner helps there. The batter is Mike Heath.
Catcher Mike.
We'll watch the play again. You'll see Santana wanted to get to the base, but he couldn't because the runner was right on top of it. He gave up, but he got the batter. We'll watch the slide by Van Slyke. He's a good base runner. Nobody slid like that when I was a kid. Now they all slide like that. Used to be hook sliders. Mike Heath hasn't driven in a Cardinal run, and he's 1 out of 16. Fanned his first time.
Heath was originally drafted by the Yankees.
Ball 1 inside.
Heath's best year at the bat was a .281 average back in '83 at Oakland.
I'll have to check with somebody, but it appears to me that Gooden's pitching stuff is not quite the same off the stretch. That's going to be caught by Strawberry, and the runner will stay at second base. Probably. Now he's coming over. He'll make it. And maybe we'll get a wild pitch or a pass ball now, huh?
Jack, I'm inclined to agree with you. Gooden certainly does not appear to be as effective when he has men on base.
And see how they pitch to Ozzie now. They might even just go ahead and put him on. That ball was up. Heath couldn't get around on it. Ozzie doubled his first time up. Infielders come in to guard against the 2-out bunt or the slow roller. And Slikes on at third with 2 out. Gooden off the windup. Strike. Ozzie doubled into the right field corner his first time, and he has 7 hits, the most on the club.
He's reached base by a hit or a walk in the first 5 games.
Think Van Slyke will try to steal home? Bad breaking ball. Strike 2. 1-0 New York in the 5th. Now they drop back at first and third. And the fans want another strikeout. Curveball. Curveball in the dirt gives Gooden his 5th strikeout. Cardinals leave 1 after the leadoff walk, and they've stranded 2. We go to the bottom of the 5th. 1 hit for each club. Santana, Gooden, and Dykstra coming up.
With Jack Buck, Jay Randolph at Shea Stadium in New York, and the Mets have a 1-0 advantage as we're set to go to the bottom of the 5th inning here.
Anybody still have black and white television sets? I don't think so, huh?
Well, we might have a few back in West Virginia. You never know.
Pretty colors, though, today.
Yeah, beautiful day. Those shadows going to start to go over home plate there, and it'll make it double tough for the batters with that ball coming out of the sun at them.
Rick Horton is the pitcher. They call him Norton. He's in love with the honeymooners, so they call him Norton. He pitches to Santana. He walked his first time, and that helped New York score a run in the 3rd inning, the only run of the game. We're in the bottom of the 5th. It's a day off tomorrow for these clubs. Ozzie lays back, comes up, and flips and gets him. Usually, I was surprised to see Ozzie play that one flat-footed, but he did. We now pause for local station identification. This is the St. Louis Cardinals Television Network.
Your home for St. Louis Cardinals baseball. This is KLJB-TV Davenport.
Dwight Gooden sacrificed his first time up. He's had 1 hit this year, and he's had 21 hits during his career, and he bunts the ball foul.
Youngest man ever
Good
to,
athlete.
oh yeah, he's a great youngest man ever to capture the Cy Young Award, and hard to believe he's only 21 years old, and he's handled the pressure of playing in the Big Apple so well.
He'll probably be 22 this year, won't he?
Yes, he will be. All goes well.
Well, he only hit it 390 feet.
He thrilled this big crowd. They love it.
He's still out, isn't he?
Yep. Good view of Willie going back to the warning track to make the play.
That's all you have to do, Rick. Keep it in the park. There's Dykstra, and I'll bet you a cold Budweiser he bunts the ball. You want to bet?
Well, he's an outstanding bunter.
You want to bet or not?
No, I'm not going to bet with 2 out.
Well, I'll bet you he doesn't.
Well, no. You bet. That's what I want to bet.
I'll go either way.
I'll bet you he doesn't bunt.
Okay. He should have. Down they go in the 5th. 1, 2, 3.
I'm 1 up on you.
I owe you, bud. After 5, 1-0. New York.
The Cardinals have developed a great new team poster for this season, and all the fans with a paid admission on Friday, April 25th, game against the Mets, received the colorful posters as part of Team Poster Night. Similar to last year's Heat Is On poster, and the 86th edition will include color action shots of all the players along with manager Whitey Herzog. Friday, April 25th, 86 Team Poster Night.
We play the Mets on the 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, and then we go to the West Coast. Ball 1 to Horton. Rounded out his first time. You know who's in St. Louis today?
Who?
The boss.
The boss.
The king. El Jefe. He's watching the game right now. There's one for Dykstra. Well hit ball by Horton. 1 out. Mr. Sinatra will perform and entertain at the arena tonight. I wish I were there.
I can remember a night when you and I kind of teased our way into Caesar's Palace and had to sit on the steps. Remember? We sat on the steps to listen to him, and he was marvelous.
That was when I first heard him sing that song, You and Me.
You and Me.
I thought that was going to be a big hit, but it wasn't. Maybe he'll sing it for the folks at the arena tonight.
Well, it's always been a big hit with you.
I'd like to fly back there and catch that concert. Huh? You know, he's an Anheuser-Busch distributor in Long Beach. Here's Coleman. Twice the center fielder has taken care of Coleman, and Vince is 6 out of 20 for the year. I'd like to see him get on base. Cardinals have had 1 hit and 2 base runners. Ozzie has a double, Van Slyke has a walk, and that's it. And we're in the 6th inning. 1-0 New York. New York has only 1 hit. And a foul. 1-1. Did you see Coleman on the Superstars on NBC?
Wasn't he remarkable?
I didn't see it.
I'll tell you.
I know he did well, though, and everything.
He really did. I didn't know he was a golfer.
He took 1 swing. He never played before and knocked the ball 9 feet from the pin on a par 3 hole.
Oh, is he something?
I'd like to see him hit one 9 feet from the fence. He held up. 2 balls and a strike.
Frank Pulley is the third base umpire.
These umpires didn't get their uniforms and equipment until about a half hour before the game. 1 man out. 2-1 to Vince. 3-1. Gooden has struck out 5 and walked 1.
Got some community nights coming up when the Mets are in town. The 24th is Rack Snowball Classic night. For ticket information, contact Carol Galafero at the Rack St. Louis Regional Office. 25th will be St. Louis Community Schools night. For tickets, you can contact the 15 community schools nearest you or the community school office.
Well, what do you do on 3-1 against Gooden? Do you take your chances on a walk, or do you swing and take your chances on a hit? And do you want to go 3-2 against this guy? Well, hit ball to right center field, and that won't be caught. And let's see if he can get 3. Yes, he will. And there is only 1 out, and that's a big 3-base hit for Vince Coleman. And McGee could drive him home. He corked that one and got the gap. The second hit for the Cardinals. Watch the swing on a 3-1 count.
Now batting, center fielder.
Fastball down the middle. And to the wall. He knew he was going to get 3 when he lit out from home plate. Now the infielders are in at first and third. The batter's McGee. He hasn't been hitting the ball. He's 0 for 2. He left a runner on at third base twice yesterday with 1 out. But of course, if he doesn't do it against Gooden, that's excusable. He wants at least the fly ball. He gets the run home on a base hit. Drives in his 4th run of the year, and we're tied 1-1. So Willie is a threat to run now. The shortstop was cheating in a little bit halfway in. That pitch was down, and he got it up the middle. You see how shallow Santana was playing? That may have made a difference. And Coleman dashes home. So now the Cardinals have 3 hits and have tied it 1-1. And Tom Herr is up. He's grounded out twice. And he has had 2 out of 18. A far cry from what he was doing last year at this time. Watch McGee. McGee in the stolen base department has 1, and he's the only Cardinal to be out stealing this year. So Herr might take a pitch or 2. Now he swings and hits it toward Foster. Boy, he had him played perfectly, didn't he? And there are 2 out, and it's up to Clark. Jack has struck out and grounded to short. The Mets scored their run in the 3rd. The Cardinals have tied it in the 6th.
Jack is a career .319 hitter at Shea Stadium over the years.
And he's had 6 hits in the early going. So his timing is right. We'll watch McGee with 2 out. A lot of clubs don't run when they have their big slugger at the plate, but that's not the Cardinal philosophy. They'll run anytime. Ball 1. I'll show you something about Hernandez. You see, when he holds a runner close, he has both feet on the playing field now. That's the rule. He used to play with 1 foot way off the foul line. Somebody protested. He thinks it was Whitey Herzog. Doesn't matter who it was.
Well, I know Mike Shannon pointed it out a great deal early in the year last year.
It aggravated Hernandez. Foul by Clark. He had a good rip, and Gooden rather quick pitched McGee. Changed his pitching tempo. It's 1-1. There's Keith chatting with Willie. Willie's at first, 2 out. The Cardinals have caught the Mets here in the 6th. The Redbirds trying to win their 5th game of the year. They're 4-1. The Mets are 2-2. High fastball. You could see Carter trying to pull it into the strike zone. Joe West didn't give it to him. 2 balls and a strike. Clark hit 22 home runs a year ago, has 1 this season. Well, look out, Willie.
Had him leaning.
So you can see that Gooden has improved his style out there. He almost got Van Slyke earlier in the game. Watch Willie. Oops. Close, wasn't it?
Wind has picked up now, Jack, and is blowing out toward left field.
You know, they used to talk about Gil Hodges, the late Gil Hodges, when he played first base in that pickoff play. He'd wrap you on the ankle every time with the tag. After a while, that hurts. He went around 2-2. Clark talking to the umpire. He said, why was that a strike? And West said, because you went around. 2-2. Gooden has 5 strikeouts. I'll tell you one thing. I bet Clark will get a swing at it. Two out. McGee at first. Willie's going. Curveball and a stolen base into center field. McGee will end up there with 2 men out. A throwing error for Carter. Stolen base, error of the catcher. 3-2 count on Clark. Clark almost swung at that ball, didn't he? Two on Clark. 2 out, a runner at third. Doesn't matter much unless there's a wild pitch or a pass ball or an error on the infield. He struck him out on a curveball earlier in the game on a 3-2 count. Fastball popped up. There's a play. The wind moves it. Hernandez fights the sun and makes the catch. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, 1 left. Cards have left 3. Bottom of the 6th, we're tied 1-1.
Cardinal Wallet Day was so popular in '85, it's been brought back in '86. All the youngsters age 14 under with a paid admission to the game on Sunday, the 27th of April, be given the red nylon wallet that will come in very handy. The Cardinals will be playing the Mets that day at 1:15. Bottom of the 6th inning, 1-1 game. Here again, Jack Buck.
Tim Tuffle has driven in the only New York run. Ball 1 goes low, but this fella takes a full swing. Struck out his first time, fly to right with the bases loaded in the 3rd. We're tied 1-all. He went around, I think. Yep. 1-1. Speaking of wallet, have you paid your income tax yet?
Oh, yeah, to bring that up. That's tomorrow, isn't it?
Man, oh man. Fly ball for Van Slyke. 1 out. Hernandez with the bases empty. 0 for 2. Herr has thrown him out twice.
What were your impressions,
I wonder what
Jack,
they're using all that money for that I sent them.
I can't imagine. I guess they're running the country, huh? What are your impressions of Hernandez's book?
Well, you know, it's a day-by-day diary. It's not a comprehensive, you know, usually when a fellow writes a book, here's strike 1 called. Usually when a fellow writes a book, it's a comprehensive story, you know, about the beginnings in baseball and everything that happened to him during his career. But this is a chronicle, day-by-day story of last year. Well, here's a ball high. There's some insight to it and a lot of comments by Keith, but that isn't the kind of book that I wish he had written.
Well, maybe he'll write another one.
1 ball, 1 strike. And a changeup. Off-speed breaking ball. Horton taking care of himself pretty well, except for the walks. He's only allowed 1 hit. Wants to keep Hernandez off base with Carter up next. This Hernandez really gets a lot of hits against us, and we certainly know how to pitch him, but he gets the better of it frequently.
Well, he's certainly one of the best bat handlers in all of baseball today.
Cards about hit New York 3-1. We're tied 1-1. There he goes again.
See what I mean? Just took it the other way, went with it in fine fashion.
Horton hung the breaking ball out over the plate. Now watch him. He just went the other way.
Yep. Stuck that bat out there. Has great hand-eye coordination as Hernandez. He really does.
Carter has lined out to right and singled. You can get him on the double play. Pendleton's close to the line. Outfielders are straight away. Against the Cardinals, it's either feast or famine for Carter. You either get him on the double play or he'll really hurt you. Ball 1 high.
He can hurt you so often with the long ball as he did in the opener here in the 10th inning a year ago. Yet he only batted .159 against the Cardinals last season.
He's always pumping up there. Hernandez got the second New York hit, and there's a double play ball to Ozzie. Aggressively charges, and there's a double play to end the inning. Off-speed pitch, and he was out in front and pulled it to Ozzie, who came in very aggressively, and it went 6-4-3. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. We played 6, and we're tied 1-1.
Jam-packed Shea Stadium. As we move into the 7th inning, we're rejoined by Mike Shannon. A 1-1 game. Dave Johnson, the manager of the Mets, has been out jawing with a home plate umpire, Joe West, during the last 2 half innings. I don't know what all that's about, but
It's about his new record he has out. You know, he's the singing umpire. Country western singer. Dave wants to know when his new album will be released.
West from down in North Carolina, Asheboro, does some heavy country and western singing.
Heavy, huh?
Very heavy.
Heavy? Well, you're an expert when it comes to heaviness, so I won't get into that.
And country and western music, too.
Oh, there's no doubt. You almost got me in the biggest fight of my life down in Lexington, Kentucky one night when you told a whole room full at the bar where there was a country western band that there was more bluegrass in what valley in West Virginia?
The Greenbrier Valley, more bluegrass.
You said there was more bluegrass in the Greenbrier Valley in West Virginia than the entire state of Kentucky, and I thought we were dead for sure.
We were in a little trouble for a few minutes.
Andy Van Slyke leads it off. This ball game zips into the 7th. Good game, pitchers duel. Right now it's deadlocked, 1 apiece. The line score 1-3-0 for the Cards, 1-2-1 for the Mets. Van Slyke hits it a mile high, and if it comes down, Tuffle has a chance for it. Let's see. He's struggling, but he gets it. 1 out. Van Slyke 0 for 2 with a walk and a stolen base. And it brings in Terry Pendleton. You have to take your hat off to both these hurlers today, and Rick Carton especially. Jay in his first outing. He's really outpitched Gooden except for that 3rd inning when he walked the 3. And that's not an easy chore to outpitch Mr. Gooden. He lost only 4 games the entire 1985 season. For Pendleton, they give him right center. The wind is picked up here just a bit at Shea Stadium. It's drifting out towards left. As you get a good look at the youngest superstar in the game of baseball, as far as pitching is concerned, Dwight Gooden. Missed low and inside with that fastball. I see where that young man out, who is it, Oakland, already has 2 home runs. They say he's going to be a great one. I think there's going to be an influx of great young players to come along in the next few years here in the major leagues. It seems like they run in cycles, and we're in a cycle now.
Lisa Streckfus and Jennifer Roman, lifelong St. Louis residents, Cardinal fans here watching the game.
Friends of yours?
No. Says that they love Jack and Mike. Don't even mention me.
That'll play for the center fielder, Dykstra. So they had him defense very well, 2 outs. Well, here's some people that like you, even though they don't mention your name, Jay. They still like you, I know. They're from Cahokia, Illinois, Dave and Julie Powell. They'd like to say hello to everyone back in Cahokia.
And a note from Jeff Levine. Says he's New York's most avid St. Louis Cardinal fan. And he wants to say hello to Frank and Linda and Pat and Kathleen and Bill and all of the Cardinal fans who've been so kind to him back in St. Louis.
How to play off the bat of Mike Heath. Heath today is struck out. He's flied to right. Off to a slow start offensively. It'll take the Cardinal catcher a little while to get his feet on the ground here in the National League. At least 1 trip around. But that hasn't bothered his catching. He's been superb behind the plate. Just low, 1-1. We're in the 7th. No one on. 2 outs. Tied 1-1. The Redbirds got their run in the 6th. A 3-1 fastball down the middle that Vince Coleman drilled into right center. 2 hops off the 396 mark. He loped into third, and then Willie McGee singled up the middle, and it was 1-1. Heath had a good rip at that Gooden fastball, but not this one. Dr. K picks up number 6. 3 up, 3 down. It's 7th inning stretch time. Shea Stadium, New York. 55,000 on hand, and we're tied 1-1.
And now, leading off.
7th inning, 1-1. Cardinals have out-hit the Mets 3-2. A dandy pitching duel. Gooden for the Mets and Horton for the Cardinals. And here is Darryl Strawberry to lead it off. Mike?
We're going to have a Strawberry Foster night in this inning, because that's exactly who will hit. Strawberry leads it off, then it's George Foster and Ray Knight. First one is out of the strike zone. Now, fooled by that curveball is Strawberry. He hasn't had a good swing yet against Rick Hart, but he only needs one, this big guy. Darryl Strawberry, what a season he had in 1985. Even though he missed better than a month. Joe West says ball 2, it just missed. Good sinking fastball right in on his hands. Strawberry last season hit .277, had 29 home runs, 79 RBIs, and he missed better than a month of the season with a broken wrist. This kid has almost unlimited potential. He's off to a slow start as he fouls this one past first base. No home runs, no RBIs. He came in batting 188, and he's 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice.
They call him the straw that stirs the Mets, Darryl Strawberry.
Well, he just stirred up a strikeout. And for Rick Horton, number 2 on the day. This is what you call a slow curve.
Left fielder.
And Strawberry missed it a mile.
Foster.
Pulled the string on him.
Here's Foster. He can hurt you in a hurry also. He's flied to center and he's walked today. This is the last man in the major leagues to hit 50 or more home runs. He hit 50 what? 4? 52. He pops this one into the Bermuda Triangle, but Herr says he'll handle it. He does. 2 down. What did he hit that one year? 52 or 54?
I'll look it up for you.
He had 149 RBIs.
Right.
In fact, there's only been, what, 11 players to ever hit 50 or more home runs? There's a couple of guys that you might guess did that, but haven't. One mistake that's made there is Henry Aaron. Aaron never did hit 50 or more.
Foster hit 52 in 77.
Ray Knight at the dish now as he fouls off that fastball. Knight has walked, scored, hit into a double play. That's a good question when you have people to search for those fellas that have hit 50 or more. They usually mention
Fellow sitting in the broadcast booth just over to our left who is in that category.
Ralph Kiner.
Hall of Famer.
Oh, he pulled the string, a straight change, dropped it right in there, and it's 1-2. How about he on? 2 down, 7th inning. Rick Carton, Dwight Gooden hooked up in a barn burner here. 1-1 in the 7th. Action in both bullpens now. And a strikeout, his 2nd here in the inning, his 3rd of the game. Harden still strong, sets him down in order. We've played 7. New York has a run. So do the Cards.
Philadelphia, LA at San Diego. Cardinals playing the only afternoon game in the National League. Tied up 1-1 here as we move into the bottom of this 7th inning. Ozzie Smith 1 for 2. The Wizard of Oz doubled and was stranded in the 3rd inning. He struck out in the 5th. Sold out Shea Stadium in New York. The home opener for the Mets. Gooden walks off, gathering himself. These Mets have a great year ahead of them, they think. Of course, the Cardinal fans have the same thoughts about the Cardinals. Ozzie went for a high, hard one. The Mets won 98 and lost 64 last season. The Cardinals, of course, won 101. Most observers feel it wouldn't take that many to win the National East this time around. Low. 1-1. Rick Ownby and Ron Darling, the scheduled pitchers here on Wednesday afternoon, and then John Tudor will go against Sid Fernandez, a fine pairing on Thursday. Out into center field in front of Dykstra, and Ozzie leads it off with a single.
I think Dykstra was playing a little too deep, don't you, Jay?
Got to look at it again, Mike.
Ozzie hit, what, 5 home runs last season? This is a big ballpark, and he was playing way too deep as far as I'm concerned. Not going to hit that many home runs. Clint Hurdle, the pinch batter, off the bench to bat for Harton. Great job by Rick Harton today. And Clint Hurdle would like nothing better than to sting his old teammates. Cardinals picked up Hurdle from this New York Met club. And you see his figures last year as a Met. They're deep and they play Hurdle to pull. Strike, good fastball. So Ozzie, with that base hit, runs the Cardinal total to 4, and Mr. Smith has half of it.
Horton goes 7 innings, gave up a run on 2 hits, struck out 3 and walked 4. An outstanding performance for Ricky this afternoon.
He showed no signs of bunting. A rather unusual move here, and he doesn't show any signs on that particular pitch.
Hurdle standing in there, 1 ball and no strikes, the count to him. Throw over. There's Dwight Gooden's stats on the afternoon, updated for you. That's a little low. Hurdle came to the Cardinals in December, drafted from the Tidewater Club. Of course, he is a former Met.
An unusual situation here, Jay, don't you think? Not trying to bunt. Tie game, 8th inning.
Ozzie's going, slapped into the hole as Santana went towards second. Ozzie goes to third, and they're at the corners.
I tell you, the man's a genius over there, isn't he, Herzog? They don't use the bunt. What do they use? They use the hit and run, and Hurdle made it picture book perfect. The runner goes, the shortstop covers. Hurdle hits it right where Santana left.
Coming around to the
A perfect double play ball if they don't start the runner.
Coleman.
And Santana was caught cheating. When you're covering the base, you have to take steps in towards the batter rather than to the base. Santana didn't do that. Now the Cardinals have an excellent chance to get on top. 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Infield is in for the play at the plate.
And Coleman, who scored the Cardinals' only run in the 6th and has flied out twice, scored in the 6th after the triple. And McGee got the RBI. Fouls it away. Ozzie's down there at 3rd, Hurdle over there at 1st. We're in the 8th. 1-1 game. looks in at Carter. Knight, Santana, Tuffle, and Hernandez drawn in. Way high, throw to third. Ozzy's back.
Get a look at Mr. Carter trying to pick off Ozzie Smith. The Mets come out fortunate on that. Good play by Knight. That ball gets by, and the Cardinals are on top. And Hurdle would have gone to second easily, maybe all the way to third.
Gooden taking a lot of time. Now ready. The 1-1 pitch. Well, he threw over to first. He was going to go to third and threw over to first. Hurdle coming through for the Redbirds has put the lead run at third base with none out. And it's popped up. Santana ranging back on the grass. Oh! Ball bounced into the glove of George Foster. Oh, what a play.
George Foster
couldn't handle it, and Foster just happened to be there.
Foster, not known for his defensive abilities, they have just saved the day.
Boy,
this is a big out here. Watch this play now. Santana has the ball pop out of his glove, and lo and behold, George Foster catches it before it can hit the ground. Watch this. Another view. Reminiscent of the play Pete Rose made, who you've seen so often. Now the Met infield will stay in at the corners and halfway at short and second. This is a very interesting inning. Herzog doesn't go for the sacrifice with the 9 position batting. The pinch hitter Hurdle gets the hit and run instead.
Willie McGee has the only RBI for the Cardinals this afternoon. It came in the 6th. We're now in the 8th, tied 1-1. Fouled away. Willie grounded out in the 1st, struck out in the 4th, and got that single up the middle in the 6th.
This is when the great pitchers seem to rise above the rest. It's also when the great hitters seem to rise above the rest. And we have
we've got two of the
Cy
best
Young
right
Award
here.
winner and the most valuable player going one-on-one with a ball game on the line.
Mike, we just saw a good look at the infield and those shadows that have engulfed the field almost all the way to the mound. And I mentioned earlier, this gives a little added dimension to Gooden throwing out of the sunlight.
So far, it appears not to have helped him. 2 singles.
Here's one in the left. Foster back is there. Ozzie tags. The Cardinals take a 2-1 advantage.
Great pace running.
And look at Hurdle.
Everybody runs on this Cardinal ball club, even fellas that are not known for their running. Mike Keith, for example, stole the first base of the year for the Redbirds. Jack Clark made an outstanding base running play the other day when he scored, and now watch this. McGee goes with the fastball, hits it deep into left. Ozzie scores easily from third as Foster goes back. Great base running as you see Ozzie coming in to score. Hurdle, who was on at first, tagged and went into second base. So now the Cardinals have an insurance runner, if they can get him home, and an insurance run. Here in this inning, it's going to be a pinch runner. Hurdle gets the glad hand as he's relieved, goes to the dugout, and Tom Lawless will do the base running down at second.
There's Lawless. So Lawless is at second. There are 2 out. The Cardinals have the lead 2-1. Willie McGee with both RBIs.
I can't wait to ask Whitey Herzog why he didn't sacrifice and opted for the hit and run instead. And a good look at Willie McGee down on the bench. He has both RBIs today.
Herr has grounded out twice and flied to left.
There's Clint Hurdle with the big hit and run single.
Cardinals would like to pick up another one. Lawless out there at second. Strike on the outside corner. Gooden, when he gets men on base, works very slowly.
been a heck of a game, hasn't it?
Sure has.
Long way to go, though. A long way.
Where will these two teams be down the road in late September?
At each other's throats, I can tell you that. They were in '85, and they most likely will be exactly there in '86. Speaking of these two clubs, when we come off this long road trip, New York has a very long stay in St. Louis, a 4-game series, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Herr pops it up out into left. George Foster makes the play, but the Cardinals get the go-ahead run as Willie McGee got the sacrifice fly to get Ozzie Smith home. Smith led it off with a single. That was followed by the pinch single by Hurdle on the hit and run. Bottom of the 8th coming up. The new Cardinal pitcher is Ken Daly. As we remind you, there's a surprise in store for kids who attend Cardinal Jacket Day this year. Jacket's been redesigned with a zipper front, drawstring bottom, and a hood for the rainy days. There's a good view of it. All the youngsters 14 and under with a paid admission on Saturday, April 26th. Get one of the colorful vinyl windbreakers. So don't miss the game at 12:20 against the Mets.
It's a great homestand, the 24th, 25th, 26th, and the 27th. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The Mets in town. There are box seats and reserve seats remaining for the Thursday night game. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, terraced reserves remaining. It's our first telecast of the year, Jay, and I'd like to tell the fans that this year the Cardinals have an excellent chance of drawing 3 million people, and that's an unbelievable total for
Ken
this
Daly,
franchise.
Yeah, Ken Daly had a wonderful 1985. Cardinals were patient with this young man. 27 years old, from Jerome, Idaho. Came to the Cardinals in June of '84 along with Mike Jorgensen in the Ken Oberkfell deal with Atlanta. Attended the University of Portland. A lot of time around the Portland, Oregon area.
And Mike Heath goes to talk over the signs with him. He'll have Santana, then possibly a pinch batter, as Gooden is scheduled up next. Then back to the top of the lineup. So before this one's said and done, the big boys are going to bat again. Jay, talking about the Cardinal attendance this year and the tickets being available, I'm going to suggest to the fans that if they're interested in seeing Cardinal baseball, they make plans now to buy their tickets and obtain those tickets, because tickets are going to really be short this season. I'm not trying to panic anyone or rush anyone,
but it's true. The Cardinals have an excellent opportunity to draw 3 million.
And it's going to be a matter of whether you can get good seats or not, but whether you can get seats at all. So take what you can get and do it early, because the earlier the better, and you'll get the good seats.
Daly facing Santana. Santana has walked and grounded out. Bottom of the 8th inning at Shea Stadium. Daly knocked it down, 1 away. This is Daly's second appearance of the young season. He pitched an inning, gave up a hit.
Going to have a pinch batter. I think it's Kevin Mitchell that'll bat, as you see this one hopper back to the mound, and very good reactions and sharp agility as Daly throws him out.
Now Gooden's out of the game, and it will be Kevin Mitchell, Californian in the International League. He hit .290 last year. Came up late in the season. Made his first major league start against the Phillies in September.
Well, Rick Carton, the starter for the Cards, is gone. Now Gooden, the starter for the Mets, is gone, and Rick Carton outpitched him.
He sure did today.
The totals for Harton: 7 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, 3 strikeouts, 4 walks. For Gooden, 8 innings, 2 runs, 5 hits, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk.
Pretty much straight array for Mitchell, and deep in the outfield. This fella has some power, and you can see he took a rip. Mitchell, as I said, hit .290 at Tidewater, at 9 home runs, 24 doubles. He was up with the Mets and batted .214 in 7 games in September. Low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And he got him.
Curveball. Youngster being aggressive, went for it out of the strike zone, and a very good play by Mike Keith. Once again, he didn't try to catch the ball. He just tried to block it. Quite a opening day crowd, Jay Randolph.
47,752 paid, 49,621 in the house. Game has been sold out for over a month. Here's Dykstra. He's flied out, walked and grounded out. 0 for 3 on the, or 0 for 2 on the afternoon, and he fouls this one into the Mets dugout. Cardinals leading at 2-1 if you're just joining us. Mets scored in the 3rd. Cardinals tied it in the 6th, went ahead in the 8th. Willie McGee has both RBIs for the Cardinals. Little tapper right back to Daly. And he handles the Mets in fine fashion after 8 full innings of play at Shea Stadium. 2-1 St. Louis.